yo. What's up? What's happening? We got some time, got together, found some time in our busy schedule, man. A lot of things going on, man. Trying to do some stuff, man. So try to find some time to talk about some current stuff. Talk about Kentanji Brown Jackson, our Supreme Court nomination, historic Supreme, soon to be Supreme Court nomination, and all the shenanigans that's going along with that, and the Black News Channel shutting down. Talking about that. I think that's pretty interesting, and CRT and all that stuff, man. We're gonna try to get in here, man. Gonna be busy for a little bit, for about 2 weeks or so. But yeah, bro, what's up with you, man?
Man, not much, man. For us, we're dealing with contract issues, man. Well, contractor issues. As they say, labor issues.
Yeah, man. Yeah, because you're doing you're flipping the houses and stuff. Y'all are flipping the houses and things. Yeah. So y'all gotta deal with contract issues, man. What you talking about, you try to help us out, man. And sometimes we don't help ourselves, what I'm talking about.
Yeah, man. Because we got a black contractor, man. Like we were talking about, and we have seen his work. Did pretty good work. The project we're working on is not. It wasn't a complicated project, so we feel like we didn't need to get like a licensed contractor to finish a lot of this work. But he took almost 5 weeks to put up. First, it was the scraping of popcorn ceilings, which took 2.5 weeks, and then another 2.5 weeks to put up drywall. And keeping in mind that the house is barely 1,100 square feet.
Yeah, that's okay. That's how big of it.
Yeah, it's not a big home, man. And we find out that some days he wasn't even showing up.
Yikes.
Keep in mind we are distance away from this property.
And y'all have when you do contract, y'all have like a timeline, right?
Yeah, we put together a timeline. We which he missed both deadlines. And as the time went on, like he was just getting less done. And it was the excuse and not being honest and all of those things. And the first thing I thought about was just like the stereotypes that they kind of hit us with, right? Oh, they lazy, don't want to work, and so forth. And I found myself almost getting ready to shout it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
We gotta be critical sometimes, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes that's the truth, man.
Yeah. But I think the difference was I'm not shouting it over the whole entire group, right?
Right.
Where when the right wing do it, they're more or less putting it over the whole entire group.
Yeah. You saying it's just this individual, just this one person.
Yes. Yeah. So we had to terminate him today. So
Yeah. Hey man, gotta do what you gotta do, man. Time is money, man. Can't waste
Yes, sir.
Can't be wasting it, man. You gotta do what you gotta do, and keep it pushing. You know what I'm saying? And we had a busy weekend, with with the wife, promoting and doing that event, and then have to go get some sleep so we can go do volleyball. Busy, man. Just busy, man. But it's all good, man. Yeah, man. So you've been did you check out the Kentanji Brown Supreme Court thing?
Man, I listened to primarily most of day one, and probably a quarter of day two, because I was so sick to my stomach honestly, like listening to those guys, man. And like here she was, like, have to listen to the questioning that didn't have anything to do with her title at all.
Right, right.
Um, and how I looked at it, man, Americans really need to question themselves
Hmm.
when it comes to these politicians, right? Because some of the stuff that even Judge Brown was pointing out was they were trying to place the blame on the judge for the legislative laws that they created.
Hmm.
And she was trying to explain to them, I only went by the rules that you guys created, which she's really was getting at was our politicians ain't doing no work.
Or they put so much, constraint around, how they how how they litigate.
Oh, got some difficulty.
Oh no. All right, let me try for you. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. It may have been can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, okay. I think I hit a button or something over here.
Nah, it's coming through my laptop now.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, so it's probably something wrong with.
Okay.
All right, there we go. There we go. The
Yeah,
Bluetooth.
yeah. All right. All right, there we go.
All right,
All right, we back. We back.
technical difficulty.
Technical difficulty. We good. Yeah, man. But I was saying that, she was talking about how, some of the laws, right? Laws that are made by
Hmm.
Congress puts constraint on the judge's decision making. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
In a lot of cases. So you can't just say, "Oh, the judge did this." The judge, and I think in particular they were talking about sentence the sentencing guidelines. So
Hmm.
you commit this crime. This is how this the they talk about mandatory minimums and all that other stuff. You know what I'm saying? That's what the sentencing guideline is. It tells them how to basically sentence somebody for a crime,
Right.
federal crime. Y- Yeah, yeah, but some states have go off of that sentencing guideline as well. You know what I'm saying? So put constraints on those districts, district judges and all,
Hmm.
all type of judges in the criminal justice. And yeah, and that's one of the things that's just messed up. But yeah, go
Yeah,
ahead.
yeah, because it's the checks and balances, right?
Mhm.
Which again, Judge Brown pointed out, it's checks and balances.
Yeah.
So what she was trying to explain with a lot of these cases that they were bringing up was you can't sentence a guy that he goes online and someone sends him a spam mail, right?
Hmm.
And he clicks on the spam mail and he get a bunch of um, child pornography.
Hmm. Hmm.
You can't sentence him to 40 years
Hmm.
when essentially he didn't really understand that that was spam mail.
Hmm. Hmm.
Now, the guy who knowingly either took the pictures
Hmm.
or spread the pictures
Hmm.
and so forth, the sentence also is different,
For
right?
somebody knowingly doing it, and somebody like, oh, this is let me see what this link is, and then
Co-
bam, the link pops up to you, yeah,
correct.
child pornography.
Correct.
Like, oh, 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 and
Yeah.
you can have like a little tornado,
Yeah. Yeah. And this is what she was trying to explain that it seems like a lot of these senators did not understand, and some of them are lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just like,
Raphael Cruz and Lindsey Graham.
yeah, yeah, and which means they understood what she was talking about, but just trying to mislead
Hmm.
their audience.
Their audience, yeah, yeah, because really that's what it was. That's what I took from, one of the things I took from it, other than the you know, the things that black women have to go through in a lot of these spaces and stuff, is that that's what they were doing. It was a performance, you know what I'm saying? Performance for midterms, a
Yes.
performance for 2024, you know what I'm saying? Because here's the thing, she got confirmed like 3 other times. Lindsey Graham saw her like twice.
Right, right.
So, what questions you got for her? I mean, Ted Cruz saw her twice, you know what I'm saying, before
Yeah.
this appointment. So, you know what I'm saying? At that point, you know who this person is. And I get it, a lot of it's political theater, but at the same time,
Hmm.
it's unnecessary, especially when you know this person is going to get confirmed, number one, and when it's a historic moment, right? And there's a comparison people trying to make, we'll get into later about Clarence Thomas, but
Right.
it's something historic, but and to see somebody who people say is well qualified, and a
Hmm.
lot of the questioning had really nothing to do with her job of legislating. Uh,
Right.
I'm sorry, of judging cases, you know what I mean? Trying to decipher, what the Constitution means, what judges meant at this time, and other
Hmm.
cases and other things like that. And a lot of that stuff didn't have anything to do with it. You know what I mean? Ted Cruz was talking about, dang, he brought up like Emperor Kidney. You know what I mean? And how not to be a racist. Um, uh, Hannah Nicole Jones, the
Yeah.
1619 Project. He brought up some other books, I think Tanahashi Coates. Uh,
Hmm.
if you see the theme there,
Yeah,
all
yeah,
black.
yeah,
And then, he brought up Abrams Key, how to not raise a racist baby or something like that.
yeah.
Anti Anti-racist baby. He doesn't say
Hmm.
anti-racist baby, you know what I mean? And Ted Cruz asked like this dumb question, you know what I mean? Like about are babies racist or something like,
Can babies be racist?
can babies be racist? Like, do you want racist babies? Like, what kind of question is that? You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
right, right.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of that stuff was just ridiculous, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. First thing I thought about, right, when Ted Cruz was asking that question, I said, "Man, this would be perfect if Judge Brown turned around and said, 'I like beer. You don't like beer.
Right.
You don't like beer either.'"
Right. It's the yeah, man. The juxtaposition, comparing, the Kavanaugh, case, and how he had the privilege to act like that.
Yeah,
You know, what
yeah,
I'm saying? He had the privilege to act like that, and he knew it. You know what I'm saying? Whereas Ketanji Brown, because I said that, there's a moment where Senator Raphael Cruz, says, he says, oh man, he asked her a question. He asked her some question, and she takes this big sigh, like,
yeah,
and every black person I think knew what that was. You know,
yeah. That's the
knew,
first thing I
yeah,
thought, man.
like, she's like, you dumb mother.
Yeah,
I mean, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it's that moment where I think a lot of black people, especially black women, connected. You know what I'm saying with
yeah,
her. We know what that a lot of us. If you're going up through the capitalistic system or going up through the echelons, and a lot of places are majority white, majority male places. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of times you have to, you know what I mean. You have to do whatever you need to. You have to code switch, right? Code switch to
yeah.
survive.
Right.
Code switch to get where you need to get to. You know what I'm saying? And she understood what that moment was. I knew what that moment was.
Yeah, yeah, man. I knew exactly what that moment was, man, and it rang too familiar, right?
Hmm.
It just was one of the moments we were talking in text message early during the week when it was going on, and I
Hmm.
was just like, man, I just seen mom's face.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah.
Because we started talking about like how she was treated at Alico,
Yeah.
right? When she was
Yeah.
working there, and she would come home and like talk about like how her boss was talking to her in a meeting
Hmm.
and so forth, and like that moment, that's what I seen.
Hmm.
It was just the sheer disrespect that it had nothing to do with the work that was being put out.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely, man. I think I too connected to a childhood moment, when, mom come home frustrated
Mhm.
from work. And has something to do with, somebody at work, you know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
And again, dealing in spaces where where there's majority white people.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying? And I'm pretty sure in that moment Katanji Brown was like, if she could just let off a something, she would say it.
Yeah.
She didn't really say what was in her mind, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
A lot of
Right.
time for a lot of us, and especially when black women, they have, they get in that get in that moment, they get in that
Mhm.
moment, we get in that moment as well, just as black people, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
But but more often than not, when black women are moving up in these spaces that are really white and really
Mhm.
male, you know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? There you're gonna have to take some, you're gonna have to, quote unquote, have some thick skin, you know what I'm saying? You
Yeah.
know, and know how the system work and things of that nature. So, you know, seen a lot of that and on her face and stuff too. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, man, and it was good to see. I'm not a big fan of Cory Booker, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because Cory Booker has some issues,
Hmm.
um, politically,
Hmm.
um, and with the whole voting down the medical cost bill and so forth, like doing things like that.
Hmm.
But this is why we need still people like Cory Booker in the space, right?
Hmm.
Because the chess move is, if Cory Booker did not stand up in
Hmm.
the way that he did,
Hmm.
and again, this is the part that mattered to me. It was the way that he went about it.
Right.
If he didn't stand up, it was only one other Democrat. I cannot remember her name. She was Hawaiian.
Oh, yeah, I know
Um,
you're talking about. I don't remember her name right now, but I know you're talking about.
yeah,
Hmm.
that stood up for Katanji in the way that was needed in that moment.
Hmm.
Um, you know, and this is the problem with the Democrat Party, right? Just no backbone.
Hmm.
Don't know when they should really fight. Um,
Yeah.
and the Chris Coons followed up after, I think it was Josh Hawley, right?
Hmm.
And Josh Hawley was saying some vow, like he was talking vow.
Oh yeah, that's another. Oh yeah, Josh Hawley. Yeah. Hawley.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and we're gonna get into why he was doing that allegedly.
Hmm.
If you follow along their careers, right? But Chris Coons basically, it was the nice liberal talk.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let's not address the real issue right now, but
Hmm.
we're just gonna sit back and say, oh yeah, yeah, I'm just gonna say nice words to you. Just like, no, you really need to sit back and condemn that, and then go off to your point.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think it was like real important, for Booker to stand up in that moment, man. I think him and Tim Scott, only two senators, black senators.
Hmm.
No, I'm sorry, him, Tim Scott, and Warnock.
Yeah.
I believe are the only black senators. And of course, there's no
Hmm.
black female senators. You know what I mean? And I think it was important, because his speech was about, her being seen. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That the obstacles that that a lot of times black people have to take. You know what I'm saying? I
Hmm.
remember having a conversation with my cousin, and she was saying like, everything has to go perfect. You know what I mean? Like there can't
Hmm.
be a misstep, because if there's a misstep, you can go like 10 steps back. You know.
Yeah.
And either be a slow climb or you'll never recover. You know what I'm saying? So for everything that that um, uh, Justice, soon to be Justice Kentanji Brown Jackson went through, everything had to be laid out, perfect. You know what I'm saying? Because she told a story there about because Cory Booker later asked her, he was like, you said, that it wasn't, you being a mom, you wasn't a perfect mom, to your daughters. And yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, explain on that, you know what I'm saying? And, she was saying, it's tough balancing, trying to be a mom and, and be a career,
Hmm.
woman, you know what I mean? Um, you know, and, and, and yeah, man, and I understood that and connected with that, you know what I'm saying? And she was saying that, at times, doing that, she had to, miss some birthdays and miss some
Hmm.
events, just to get where she is right now, you know what I'm saying? Or had that moment to get to where she is right now, right?
Yeah.
Um, but I think if Cory Booker didn't ask the question, he wouldn't connected it back. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, look, y'all, look, this is a human being right here. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like this is ridiculous. And but all the time, black people have to remind white Americans that we're human. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Humanity. Because Ted Cruz talking about CRT and who was that? The one old lady from Tennessee, senator.
Oh man, what's
Blackburn,
her
Marsha Blackburn.
Blackburn?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. With a home economics degree
Right.
on the committee. Come on a judicial committee with a home economics degree. Come on, dog. But I get it.
Yeah.
But I get it. It's got to be diverse. You know what I'm saying? And it
Hmm.
got to be diverse, and I get it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, yeah, it doesn't make sense. She getting up there talking about CRT and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like really? You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
she was literally voted, I think, the second to last dumbest um, person in the Senate.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and you can hear it, man, because she don't know anything about policy. She
Nothing.
don't, she don't know how to go about procedure,
Hmm.
like all of these different things, and it's just like, yeah, she really don't deserve to be there.
Yeah.
But her outrage, and I have to say, her white outrage
Hmm. Hmm.
allows her to be there.
Hmm. Hmm.
And that's the point,
That's
or the intersection between what was happening
mhm,
was Lindsey Graham and Cruz and Blackburn and Josh Hawley and all of these people
mhm,
were not as educated as soon to be Judge Brown.
mhm, mhm,
And but they were allowed to be in high positions,
mhm, mhm.
even being less educated. And this was the thing, like you saying, I know Cory Booker couldn't say things like that, but
Mhm.
it was certain things that I wish people on the panel, or Democrats on the panel, really laid out the real struggle of, one, black women, brown women, LGBT,
Mhm.
like all of these different things, and the struggles that each one of these groups have to go through,
Mhm.
and black women get majority of the blunt of it.
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And it was just a way that they could have really laid that out to show
Yeah.
the American people what was honestly happening to the whole hearing.
Yeah, I think I think that uh assimilation. Right, you know what I'm saying? I think that, I yeah, they really they was try like you saying, they were just like, "Look, man, Imma just be as neutral as possible because my
Mhm.
majority of my voters are white." You know what I
Mhm.
mean? Even if they on the left, they might be kinda racist too. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, that's just the truth of the matter. So, I think there's a lot of that, a lot of that, but I think that's, Cory Booker didn't want any of that to, take the light away from, this historic moment.
yeah,
So it was good, and like you said, I got my issues with Cory Booker too, but hey, I'm not in Jersey, so, but
yeah,
it's one of those, it's one of those historic moments, and it was good, man. And the other thing is, we do have to see more of that, man. I think
Yeah.
I think our community and our culture has to do more of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Especially black men. Saying, hey, we see you. You know, we see you. We do have to do that more of that.
No, no, I agree, man. I was watching one gentleman. I think I kind of put it on my um the Facebook reel,
Mm,
and one gentleman was breaking down one black guy who was calling Judge Brown like a B and this and that, and he was basically attacking like black people, and sort of making his whole platform was basically attacking black people.
mm.
Black guy attacking black people, and
They
you
always.
know, yeah, yeah, and you know, as he was pointing out the same thing, of just like, yeah, like these are the kind of black men that they won't stand up to for any black woman,
Mm,
period.
yeah.
Let alone a woman.
Right. Right.
Um, but as I was joking with the missus, I'm just like, yeah, man, like women, y'all got to do y'all part and not give, women got to not give them any goods, man. They got to stop giving them goods, period. Because it's they're still being rewarded in society.
Hmm.
It's sort of like what's his name, Tommy Lasorda or whatever his name is. Like, yeah, these type of guys are still being rewarded in society,
Hmm.
so they don't have no recall.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
And the problem is, like, they need to start feeling the pain. If you do not support, one, black women, two, women, we don't want to deal with you.
Hmm. Yeah.
And that's how I kind of looked at it, man.
Yeah. Yeah. Man. It's yeah, we do have to make those distinctions, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, hey, look, because because I was thinking, like, man, like, we are really in times where we are really trying to fight for the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, it really is a strange time, like, where we might have to set some boundaries and rules. You know what I mean? What it is to be in the culture. 'Cause that's part of being a culture, right? There's boundaries, there's rules. You know what I'm saying? Things that you
Mm-hmm.
can't do within the culture. Whenever I was in Japan, they tell us, how to bow, right? How to different levels of
Right.
bow, right? Because there's rules and things in the culture. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And we just might have to go to gatekeeping and rules and things of the culture, man. You know what I'm saying? Because I think that through the '70s, that's what they try to do. You know what I mean? Establish
Yeah.
rules and everything like that. Hey, when they come up with that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Or calling each other, hey, what's up, brother? Hey, what's up? Hey, sis, what's going on? Hey, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Things of
Right.
that nature, you know what I mean? Like getting back to doing that stuff. You know what
Yeah. Yeah, man. But I also wanted to drive and say, the things that we were hearing about Judge Brown, when they were talking about, like, she's not hard on you know P files. You know what I'm
I mean?
saying?
Yeah, pedophiles. Uh-huh. Hmm.
Yeah, yeah, and people got to understand what was happening
Hmm.
when you kind of now dig into the history of why was this a point?
Hmm.
Because she had on both sides, where it was some that did not require, she felt, to get harsh sentences, and then there was some that had harsh sentences. It was pretty 50-50
Hmm.
when you kind of look into her case,
Hmm.
on those kind of cases. Um, but what was happening was, if you drive back, she was the judge of Pizzagate.
Oh, really?
So now you know, that's why they were saying, "Oh, well, Democrats aren't tough on crime."
Oh, yeah.
Well, what was they saying about Pizzagate? Democrats are pedophiles.
Mhm. Mhm. Mhm.
So when you connect that information, or well, not information, disinformation, it's going to be people that start believing that
Hmm.
because that's what they were fed.
Yeah.
And to me, it was no way that they can kind of deal with that because that ball kind of it still was rolling. That was so long ago at this point in time that it's already ingrained into people that they literally still talk about Democrats are pedophiles.
Yeah, yeah. You
With,
know, yeah, they gotta smear. You know, it's the they gotta, you know, throw stuff out there, man, like that. You know, um, to because you know they got to drive fear to the polls too, right? Fear go to the polls too.
yeah.
So you know, a lot of these things, a lot of these attacks are are fear driven too. You know, that's why CRT, right? Every time they bring up CRT, right? Oh, that was the other book. Rafael Cruz had Derek Bell's introductory to CRT or something like that. Even though Derek Bell wrote like 6 books, but that was the one you picked. Okay. You know what I'm saying? Like, like it doesn't even like you got to read his whole, you know what I'm saying, to
Right.
understand CRT and whatnot, and take the law class. But you know, a lot of it, a lot of that CRT stuff is just a stand-in for anti-black. So if they don't like, what they were saying is, when they were attacking CRT, they're attacking Judge Justice, soon to be Justice
Mm-hmm.
Brown Jackson, because she was black and she was
Yes.
representing. She was the symbol, you know what I'm saying, or so to
Of
speak,
blackness.
of blackness, right?
Yeah.
And that's why they were driving home the CRT stuff. You know what I mean? And of course, they'll sprinkle in the Democrat pedophile thing, right?
Right. Right.
Right, because of the whole QAnon thing. You gotta understand,
Mm-hmm.
on is is this Pizzagate, and certain groups of people are pedophiles, mainly Democrats, and Hollywood and things of that nature. So
Mm-hmm.
that's why they were going out like that. It was a QAnon message, you know what I'm saying? And on a lot of that stuff. So but mainly, they were hitting hard on that anti-black stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were making sure, like, hey, yeah, yeah, we're still the Lily White Party. You know what I'm saying? We're still a Lily White Party, Lily White movement. Lily White Party was, by the way, was a movement in the 1880s, 1890s, to where
Mm-hmm.
white Republicans kicked black people out of the party, and they kicked the black and tans out the party. And so just wanted to add that context. I wouldn't call them Lily White because they're, it's white skin. Like, no, they're
Yeah.
Lily White Republicans. They are, from that moment, 1890, they are just anti-black. You still have like liberal Republicans, but they're just like they were like the Republicans were like white citizen councils, right? So the
Mm-hmm.
white citizen councils were like, yeah, well, hey, we're not the KKK. We don't like black people, but we ain't the KKK. Look, we just don't want black people in our neighborhoods and in our schools, but we not racist. We not the KKK.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Republicans were like that. You know what I mean? Like, hey, we not Democrats. Democrats racist. Hey,
Yeah.
y'all in our party, we don't want y'all voting. But hey.
Yeah.
That's how it was.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't buy my sheets. I didn't buy them. You
Everybody.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. And it's
Mhm.
as we try to talk to some people that we encounter online and so forth, and like try to give them historical context
Mhm.
and to let them know, like, yeah, like nothing has really changed since
Right.
then,
Nothing.
politically.
Mm-mm.
um is it presented in a different way? Yeah, it's
Yeah.
presented in a different way.
Yeah.
And some people have a hard time grasping on that. Um and at this point, those are the people, like, like people are trying to tell, like, Joe Biden, like, stop trying to win over their vote,
Mhm.
right? Because at the end of the day, they're not going to change their mind.
Yeah, they're gone, man. They're gone, man. It was like Reagan Democrats, like, and Obama Republicans, like, they're gone, dog.
Yeah,
they,
yeah,
they switch sides, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're not talking sense in that group, man. Just not. You're not talking sense in that group. And I say the same thing. Like, yeah, we shouldn't be wasting time trying to recruit, trying to get their vote. But the Democrats got to, they got to peel instead of getting more black voters. They got to be like, oh, let's go over here and see if we can peel off some of their voters.
Right, because that's the game, right?
Yeah.
Like even Donald Trump let the cat out the hat years ago, where he was saying that basically if we can peel off some of their votes,
Mm-hmm.
Republicans and win. Well, that
Yep.
came out of his mouth,
Mm-hmm.
and to me, I don't understand why Democrats don't use that to
Mm-hmm.
explain to people, especially when you talk about political ads and so forth. And um, well, the liberal media is just horrible, but
Mm-hmm.
uh, like they don't get down to those nuts and bolts and really show voters on where the train starts getting off the rail.
Yeah.
It,
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, go ahead. My bad. I'm sorry.
no, I was just explaining, like, yeah, and this is the hard part, because once that train is off the rail, it is hard to get back on that rail. And
Mm-hmm.
and the problem is that's where the information breaks down. I was speaking to a gentleman today, and he brought up politics, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and I'm sitting here like trying to avoid it, and he brings up policing,
Yeah.
and he's just like, yeah, man, I feel kind of bad for the cops. We got to protect them and so forth. And we, I vote Republican, but I just think cops just do too many jobs. And I said, well, I wasn't going to say this,
Mm-hmm.
but I said that's what defund the police means. I said,
Mm-hmm.
so when people say that to you, they're misleading you. I said, because what they don't tell you is a lot of that money is going to the police unions, and they don't spend the money properly.
Right. 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 Mm.
And I said, but they gaslight the voters so you can give more money to the police unions that don't go to the police, and it puts them in unsafe predicaments.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, this is something that, American people need to understand as a whole and collective, and mainly the Republican Party, because they're driving that party down a rabbit hole that gives you the results that you end up complaining about.
Yeah.
And he was just like, yeah, I just never thought about that. And then he started talking about, like, the hospitals, and like how that they wouldn't build a hospital because it was 1 inch too close to another medical facility and so forth. And I'm like, yeah, this is why you need stuff, for Medicare for all, and what's in Medicare for all to build more facilities and so forth. And he was just like, yeah, yeah. And I'm just like, yeah, the progressives this is what they're talking about.
Yeah. But some of them people, man, they like and I agree. When you get that, that chance, to engage, you have to engage, right? You have to engage with facts,
Yeah.
give them something to think about, you know what I mean? So I'm always like, I know this fool just went and brain dumped all the hand care. You gonna put
Yeah.
he gonna put his Let's Go Brandon hat on and I see some fool at the gym on base now. So
Yeah.
it's military folk or retirements. But this dude was young, so he was in the military, and he's in the military because I seen him in uniform, and he had a Let's Go Brandon shirt on. He's in the gym, he's working out, and I'm just sitting there thinking like, you really just woke up. Woke up and was like, you know what I'm gonna do today? I'm gonna let everybody know how much I don't like the president of the United States, and I'm gonna wear this.
Right, right.
Who does that, man? But anyway, yeah. But yeah, man. But I mean, I think that'd be a good segue into our, the BNC, news channel shutting down.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. The BNC Black News Channel. It was a news channel that was started by Shad Khan. He's the owner of the Jaguars, and a Republican. I want to say it was JC. Coleman. Uh, let me see. Let me look that up. So
Yeah.
yeah, because I want to say I can't remember. JC Watts. My bad.
Hmm.
Shad Khan and JC Watts. Republican JC Watts. You know, they started a news channel like 2 years ago, and yeah, shutting down, man.
Yeah, man. And they didn't pay. They didn't back pay their employees
Oh yeah.
as well. You
Mm,
know. Yeah, but this it's about like getting over on labor, ain't it? In the Republican Party, is that's
I
what they're
mean,
about.
that's what they're about, man. That's what they're about. And I said, and again, I don't want to derail the conversation, but I said again, we talking about FBA ADOS. You know what I'm saying? They don't understand, like, and they talking about immigration and things of that nature. Like, wait, what do
Hmm.
you think they're going? What do you think Republicans are going to do? You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't go vote. They're gonna put you. Yeah. Anyway, but yeah, man. But the Black News Channel started like 2 years ago, and I did watch it. I watched it.
Hmm.
I'm like, okay, Black News Channel. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? They're talking about stuff. Talking about black stuff. And things of that nature. But then I think, it started first. Its existence, came at a peculiar time. You know what I'm saying? I think when
Yeah.
me and you were talking, I said it was the Ice Cube moment. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
What I meant by that was Ice Cube putting out his platinum plan, right? But the timing of it and the individuals involved in it, you know what I mean? Like it's good. It's good on the surface, but at the end of the day, it might have some ulterior motives. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I feel like that's what happened to the Black News Channel. It was slowly starting to become. It was slow. It was slow, but it was like noticeable whenever I watched. Like, another. Oh man, this Republican getting a lot of airtime. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
At
Yeah.
times
Yes.
I'm like, oh okay, yeah, you get to talk longer than everybody else. Okay, I see.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yes. So after digging around, JC Watts, he was over, I guess, the hiring of the journalists and the the anchors and so forth. So he he started hiring more Republican
Mm-hmm.
anchors than just basically having a array of voices.
Having a bunch of voices. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
It's a Black News.
and
Yes,
yeah, right, right. You,
yeah.
you know, turning us into a monolith when we're
Mhm.
not a monolith. Like it
Right.
just that's what they were doing, is really trying to drive again black people to the Republican Party.
Hmm, hmm, hmm.
That was the whole scheme. That was the whole get up and again, man, this is where a lot of black folk, man, need to understand what's happening, right? We can't close our eyes. We can't put our heads in a ditch and thinking it's all going to go away. We need to pay attention. We gotta start um, working within politics to achieve what we need as a group.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, man. You know, uh, like I said, when it came in or when it started, you know what I'm saying? Like you're saying, it was the black, news channel. So it had some, issues, especially during COVID and stuff like that. I think it came at a good time to get rid of a lot of noise. But I think there was a moment where there was a news article shared about Biden administration giving
Mhm.
away reparations to individuals crossing the border. You know what I'm saying? And Black
Yeah.
News Channel shared it, and it came from a Republican site. You know what I'm saying? And coming to find out, you know what I mean, it was a lawsuit by ACLU.
Right.
Not reparations. And you know what I mean? Like they had to pull a story. And then they had to pull
Yeah.
another story that was, about HBCUs not getting money funding, and that wasn't true, and things of that nature.
Hmm.
Like they had to pull like you start and again, where'd that story come from? It came from a, right leaning website, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, they
Yeah.
they was trying to start that slow messaging, you know what I'm saying? And I think Shaq Todd just pulled his like, yeah, man, this ain't working. It ain't, you know what I'm saying? Not enough people watching. But to me, they had a bad business. To me, they had a bad business model.
Hmm.
Because I was saying how they that like they went to cable and they depended on cable news,
Yeah.
right? When we're in an era where nobody's people are slowly not buying cable. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like everybody streams, so that didn't make any sense. Why I don't understand why it wasn't in the mold of Roland Martin or TYT or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Something simple that you stream at certain times of the day, and that's it. And you toss it up on YouTube or whatever you have to do. You know what I'm saying? Because you still get money
Right.
on YouTube, or create your own, website, some way that it streams to Facebook and
Right.
YouTube and stuff like that. But they went to cable news, so that was bad. That was bad.
Yeah.
It's a bad business model. But anyway, yeah.
Yeah. From the start, but again, when you when you have certain ideologies, right, politically,
Hmm.
you tend to fall into very bad business models on top
Hmm.
of it because it's regressive,
Yeah.
and that's what started to unfold to me
Hmm.
was the same theories that you have politically that don't allow you to grow also flooded into how you ran your business.
Hmm. Hmm.
Eh,
Rather than it being, because to me it got marketed as a cultural news channel, right?
mhm,
So it's
mhm.
gonna talk about things that are culturally important. You know what I'm saying? Religion, money. You know what I'm saying? Jobs.
Yeah.
All those things. But yeah, you're right. It started to, now they did have Mark their opinion shows with Charles Blow, I think, and Mark Lamont Hill. I watch Mark Lamont Hill.
Mhm.
So I think he's a smart dude. Um,
Yeah.
um, they had those shows, but it was those shows that would come on, during the, 11 o'clock hour and things of that nature, that where you start to see, those things creep in and certain stories creep in, and you know what I mean.
Mhm.
And I think it was just one of those things. Shad Khan was like, "Hey, this isn't doing what we thought it was going to do, so just pull it." You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
Yeah, and I think that it being on cable allowed it easier to be pulled. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, so
But
again, I think that there was a nefariousness around all of
mhm.
that. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Like the Ice Cube thing, like his aluminum plan. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And that he still hadn't spoken to the Biden administration about. But anyway,
Yeah. Yeah. So again, like we're talking about, like, one, we're we're sort of not a group that has ever kind of listened to the news as a whole,
hmm
um, let alone allow the news to kind of dictate information to us,
hmm
right? And to me, when I see those kind of networks, they try to take the um, same models as NBC, CNN, Fox News, where
right,
they're trying to push information to you rather than go into the community and have people on there like New Era, right?
yeah, mhm,
Because New Era is growing so quick across the nation. Why
mhm,
wouldn't you communicate and find out, well, how are you doing this?
mhm, mhm,
What information that the community is telling you that it making you drive
mhm,
in this direction.
yeah,
We joked about, like, well, yeah, it would have made sense if you would have got Dr. Umar, right, as I was listening to someone else that was making that point, and I was just like, yeah, technically, yeah, why wouldn't you get Dr. Umar if it's from the grassroots of the
right,
group, right?
right. If it's a cultural show, yeah,
Yes.
yeah, but yeah. Why wouldn't you try a Dr. Umar? I would say, you know what I mean? I don't know if if it's a cultural conversation or have a moment to where he comes on Black News Channel and talks about some things. You know what I mean? Yeah, I really think they try to keep it in the politics realm because it would have been easier to shift the message. You know what I mean? To slowly bleed. You know what I mean? A lot of
Yeah.
right wing talking points. So I think they really kept it political. You know what I mean? Um, they're talking about various things, within the culture, but it had more to do with politics and entertainment, of course. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, but yeah, man, like I said, I think that yeah, man, not having an app or something,
Hmm.
again, being on YouTube, it just didn't make sense. I mean, even during COVID, it didn't make sense, to be a cable news channel when cable's dying, people are
Right.
streaming, you know. But that's yeah, man. But yeah, go ahead, bro.
No, I was just gonna say, man. But I do want to see like more, um, more things like that.
Hmm.
Um, and I see Roland Martin kind of changing up his format, right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, which I think is good.
Because he has cultural shows, man. And I keep saying
Yeah.
Roland Martin is the blueprint. He's showing like if you want to be a news show, like I think that there are several people on BNC who could make their own platform, right?
Hmm.
To be, like Roland Martin, you know what I'm saying? I think that they can do that, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Which that's what they should have done in the beginning. I really didn't understand because you're operating from a college anyway. Like I think I was operating from like a FAMU or something like that.
Hmm.
And yeah, like you telling me you couldn't get some cameras and studio equipment, and, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
And an IP address and
Right.
do that, like and have your own website. It didn't make sense. It didn't make sense any sense. But yeah, I mean, we do need it. We had it, BT type
Hmm.
of Smiley, you know what I mean? And things of that nature. And we most definitely need it, if anything, not just for black people, but for other people,
Yeah.
to take a look into our black culture and whatnots. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, man. It's evident, right, at this point in time, that our voice is missing from the mainstream,
Hmm.
right? I like Tiffany Cross, um, where like she is as black as it's gonna get on TV.
Yeah, yeah.
You know
Hmm.
what I'm saying? But like, she's dope with it and raw with it at the
Hmm.
same time,
Yeah.
because how she presented is in a more collegiate way,
Hmm. Hmm.
in a poetic way.
Like poetic. Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. It's like poetic, and it's like very uh it's professional. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah,
You have to
yeah,
she keep the little nice smile and things of that nature. You know what I mean? While she's also blasting. You know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. Like she got all the flavor.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
what I'm saying? And it's just like, okay, okay, yeah, I dig it, I dig it.
yeah,
And
yeah.
she also mix into like real cultural stuff that that we talk about
Mhm.
in four walls.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? And that is always missed, where they sort of wanted wanted like how Joy Reid presents it, right?
Right. Hmm.
And that's not how we really talk
Hmm. Hmm.
in
Younger
behind the
generation.
walls.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's why Joy Reid has a hard time connecting with black people as a group.
Hmm.
What?
I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Yeah,
Yeah, like you got
yeah,
to think
yeah,
about what
yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying,
yeah. Hmm.
because it's a mixed message for us.
Hmm.
Where high educated people will understand what she's saying,
Hmm.
but lower education people ain't gonna connect with her.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's sort of the mishap that's happening with Joy
Mhm,
Reid, even though she has good information that she's trying to give.
mhm, mhm. Yeah, yeah, yeah. It most definitely is yeah, yeah, a little it's not layman's. You don't know how to put too much thing in the layman's term.
Yeah.
But that's probably, again, she just came up. She's just a little bit older. So she came up
Hmm.
yeah, talking the way where Tiffany Cross came up, she's young. I think she's like our age, a little younger. Um
Yeah.
where she came up like, oh, okay, I can be freely and be this way, you know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And speak like we saying, when we talking about, speaking AAVE, you know what I'm saying? She
Hmm.
need to code switch because
Yeah.
it's English, you know what I'm saying? You're speaking
Yeah.
English, you know what I mean? So, But yeah, I like. But again, I mean, Tiffany Cross and Joy Reid, they're on platforms to where, it is still on cable, but they also got
Hmm.
streaming services, right?
Yes.
Stream it,
Yeah.
on YouTube. What I mean, you have so many ways. Like BNC was just, and then the YouTube site was just clunky and messy. And like I said, man, I think that I think that they were going to give this a 2-year run, and
Right.
if it didn't produce the numbers they wanted it to produce, then they're shutting it down. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, I think it's just fun right before the midterm. You know what I'm saying? It's just
Yeah. Yeah.
it's all funny, man. It's all funny, but
Yeah. But
yeah,
I also wanted to end that statement like, this wasn't a shot to Joy Reid, right? Because my man Charles on Fox News, um, the black gentleman, he has the same issues, right?
hmm
Trying to speak more or less high minded and missing the core group,
hmm
because it's just way past them,
hmm
and you just can't connect.
yeah,
Um,
because you got to speak, yeah, in a cultural way. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Yeah,
yeah,
where and again, Roland Martin gets it right.
yep,
He don't code switch. You know what I'm saying? He don't even sound. Roland Martin sounds different when he's on the Roland show and when he on other shows. You know what I'm saying? Because he understands. You know what I'm saying? The guests understand. You know what I mean?
hmm,
They ain't got a code switch. They can get on there. Talk how they want to talk. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And yeah, so yeah, and I do think and tell stories, right? Roland Martin doesn't try to be. He knows a lot of stuff in him, but he doesn't try to be all up. Showing like, hey, I'm very smart. And he's like,
right,
what it is. This is what it is.
yeah,
And in this way, people ain't got time for all that stuff.
right, right,
Mike
right,
decided we want our stuff now. But yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah. But that BNC thing, man, it was just shady from. I just, but I gave it a chance. But
hmm,
yeah,
hmm,
gave it a chance. You know what I'm saying? So, so it was, but yeah. At the end of the day, it was, uh, it was done. It was set up for a purpose. I guess.
yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. Let's
yeah, yeah.
let's shut this down before the black voices start getting loud before the election. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, for real, man. Yeah, 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 yeah,
yeah.
yeah. So they had to, do something, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. You got anything else, bro? Anything else?
No, man. Look, the lesson that we should take from Judge Brown is the noise of being too white, or being, too uppity, all of this stuff. Do what you need to do to survive and get your family out of poverty.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's the lesson that we really honestly should take, man, and stop all of this, like the language of wanting people in our group to stay down with with the part of our group that's having a hard time growing,
Mm-hmm.
right? Let's celebrate the fact of that's one more step,
Mm-hmm.
and let's try to push our kids, like, yeah, we got to learn in society that is now in place, that we want a society that we don't have to code switch, right?
Right,
that
right,
that, that we can just be ourselves,
right.
organically.
Mm-hmm.
um
Mm-hmm.
but as of now, when we start looking at, the 50-year-olds, the 60-year-olds that are achieving certain glass ceilings,
Mm-hmm.
that we don't critique them in that manner, because the society that they grew up with, they had to code switch
Yeah, they had to. Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
to survive, to get
Right.
forward, and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
But they also put it in play that they had children that are now us, that are
Mm-hmm.
in our 40s and so forth, that we a little bit rebels,
Mm-hmm.
and we don't feel like we want to code switch all the time, but we
Yeah.
know how to code switch,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
which allows our children to not code switch.
Yeah. Not code switch. They can just be freely however they want to
Be
be.
free.
Yeah.
Because that's what the whole thing is really about. Is about the freedom of being yourself
Mm-hmm.
at all times, and people understanding why culturally you are yourself.
Mm-hmm.
That's just the phases that we have to go through, and I just think our group need to start understanding those things.
Yeah. Yeah, man. I think um again, for me, the biggest reaction again was Corey. Seeing Cory Booker, standing up for soon to be Justice
Mhm.
Kentanji Brown Jackson. I used to saying her name.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, understanding, what it took, to get to that point, and understand, like Toni Morrison said, man, the whole point of racism is to slow you down. That's
yeah.
the whole point of racism is to slow you down, and that's what Raphael Cruz and Marsha Blackburn and Lindsey Graham and other
Hmm.
Republicans want to do. They want to try to slow her down. You know what I'm saying? So that even when she has cases, people judge her, right? Oh,
Hmm.
she's on a school board and she
Hmm.
is in CRT and things of that nature.
Right.
But then people judge her, on it. You know what I mean? They try to paint her in a light, um, simply for political points, man. But simply
Yeah,
for political points, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
Our politics in America is raised on, what you can say, to black people,
Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
and that's really what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's that goes on both sides, right? And one side
Hmm.
is negative, and one side is more positive than the negative. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
However degree you see that, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Ketanji Brown, and black women everywhere, do have to go through some things, and people slow them down, in
Hmm.
these areas where they are, they'll be the minority for sure,
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it'd be good to see a good historical moment, especially with Juneteenth coming up.
Yeah.
Um, you know, yeah, man. But yeah, man, you got anything else?
No, just to top it off, man, I'm gonna be real short. Katanji Brown is the glass ceiling. Clarence Thomas is the floor.
Oh yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh, man. I don't even, bro, getting into yeah, getting into Clarence Thomas. Oh boy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I was sharing with you that he was a dang, what was I saying he was? Uh,
Oh man.
well, they call him a black nationalist.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Um, I'm sorry, I'm typing it. Sorry,
No,
if you,
you're good.
I'm typing a correction in here. Uh, but yeah, changing her name to the correct spelling. But yeah, Clarence Thomas was a quote unquote black nationalist. In the mold of Malcolm X, Mari Baraka.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Stokely Carmichael. You know what I mean? Kwame Ture and stuff like that. So he has Malcolm X records. He goes to Malcolm X rallies and stuff like that. All these black power things and stuff like that. And he gets to college. He gets to college and he meets John Bolton. You know what I mean? Like they like bump into each other. And then John Bolton starts talking to him and talking to him about conservatism. And yeah, he just flew off the handle from there. Became a hardcore conservative that was just, against being anti-black. Yeah, yeah. But anyway, I mean to go into that whole diatribe, but man, Clarence Thomas.
No, 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 man. We can close it by sitting here really explaining it, like getting closer to money.
Mm-hmm,
Like, call it what it is, because at the end of the day, we do have this in society. We
mm-hmm,
we have we have to stop, especially in our culture, not saying what it is,
mm-hmm.
because that is the it
Yeah.
for for people like Clarence Thomas,
Mhm.
for people that go on to TikTok and all of these other places to slander women, to slander black women, brown women, like LGBT, like this is what it is because they're trying to get closer to the group that has more money.
Mhm.
And we need to sit back and say what that thing is.
Yeah. Yeah, yeah, man. That's another long conversation for another day, man. It's
Yeah.
just because I mean it was all at play in the you know, and oh man, they didn't bring up we didn't even bring up Walmart brand Candace Owens that they brought up. Blackface.
Oh man.
Not
Yeah.
a disparagement for CRT, man. And it's crazy,
Well,
like you're saying, it's these individuals that are using these moments. You know what I'm saying? To get money, get paid, man, get paid off of black trauma, man. That's some low
that
down stuff.
that's what it is, man. As Republicans like to say, oh, race baiters.
Yeah, yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? Because that's what's going on, right? They get to sit back and say like race baiters, but they are the one who's literally attacking their own race,
Hmm.
all for money.
Yeah.
So they're trying to bait you into attacking your own race because they're getting paid
Hmm.
by a primarily white party.
Yeah, man.
You know what I'm saying? Like, wouldn't that be the race baiters?
Mhm. Yeah, man. I try to break down voting to somebody, man. Try to get people to understand, what I'm saying? The biggest voting block are white people, right?
Yeah.
They vote in like the 65, 75%. That means that out of 100% of people who are age of voting, who can
Mm-hmm.
vote, has the ability to vote, it's like 65, 75% of them, and then they get split into you know, into
Mm-hmm.
majority, Republicans. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I'm trying, try to break down numbers of people, and things of that
Yeah.
nature.
78%. Somewhere between 78% of them voted in the last election with Trump.
Hmm. Hmm.
35% of them or 37% of them voted Republican. Only 32%
Hmm.
voted for, Democrat
Yeah.
or whatever that number is. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Mm.
it's simple math, bro.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I think that number is I think like 55% of them or something. Yeah, it ended up being like 55% voting Republican or something like that. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, it's a big number. What?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
it's a big number. But they normally get that size of vote. But but in that 70 percentile and stuff like that. But yeah, man. Anyway, yeah, conversation for another day. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, man.
All
All right,
right.
man. All right, man. Hey, appreciate you guys who tuned in, man. Appreciate everybody that's going to tune in, man. Have a great week, man. This Y'all Saying podcast. We out of here. Peace.
Peace.